Abusing the attendance point system at work. So I was working at a company I'll call Ida Or, and they have a 4-point attendance policy. Every time you call out or leave work early you use a point. When you get 4 you're fired. Now when you call in late you use 1/3 of a point. Their policy was be it a minute or an hour you're still late. Well, one day I had to take my wife to a medical appointment about an hour and a half away, which was fine, except it ran a lot longer than expected. I was gonna be 5 minutes late and HR would force me to use 1/3 of a point. At this point in my time with this company I saw them screw over way too many people when it came to hours, so I said F it, called in late by 2 hours, which is max before you have to use a whole point. Then took my wife out to a nice lunch and even had a half-hour nap. The company I worked for years ago, we had a point system as well, but slightly different. If an employee called in sick for 1 to 8 hour shift, it was 1 point. If you called in sick for 4 to 8 hours shifts in a row, that was 1 point. Pretty much everyone called in sick for 4 straight days and got their 1 point added to their attendance program. Once you reached 3 points in a running year, you were talked to about your attendance. What I might add was that we had an unlimited paid sick time bank with insurances and all. Those were the good old days. You cannot be late twice. Hence, if you know you will be late, do not rush, as that can lead to an accident. A company that shall remain nameless had a 10-point system that worked as thus. To the best of my knowledge, as this was roughly 2 decades ago. Late by up to 15 minutes 1/4 point, late by 15 to 2 hours 1/2 point, late by 2h to rest of your shift 1 point, miss a day of work 1 point. I think points would roll off a year after they were given. And then also, if you had perfect attendance for 3 months, you would also get rid of the oldest point. This worked great because the job was a 24/7 place that had a lot of college students and parents that always had schedule issues or things coming up. Of course, with this system what often happened is people, never me of course, would be running late, have car trouble, family issues, etc. And on their way to work realize that they are cutting it too close, so just call in and take the full 1/2 a point. Very few people were ever let go for points, as if you were someone who managed to get that many points, there were other issues with your work that they made up. I mean, you were fired for first. Similarly, at my high school, tardies and absences were tracked separately. I was maxed out for tardies. I was going to get big detention on the next one. So the next time I was 2 minutes late, I just turned around and left. This is exactly how the phrase, "might as well be hung for a sheep as a lamb," came from. If there's no difference in the consequence for the minor offense, why not commit the greater? This rule simply means that trained, long-serving staff will be constantly looking for new jobs when they get near their limit, to be replaced by untrained staff. Not the money-saving trick that the management think it is. So, you gain points because of illness. Too many points or you're fired. Sounds awfully illegal to me. Has a similar system, but it was 3 and fired. I just came to work sick. Sneezing and coughing all over. Manager gets upset and asks why I'm here sick. I'm not taking idiotic points and risking my job. If you want to send me home, that's fine, but I'm not taking points. He tells me I need to go home and take a point. I put my foot down and just tell him it's not going to happen. He walked away in a huff. The idiotic this was a call center, and I was the most productive person out of like 600 plus people. So productive they thought I was cheating and did several investigations on my work. It's also a place for was at for 2 years. Left for a year. Got laid off. And came back. Before I left, they didn't have the point system. They just wrote people up for blowing all their sick time and then continuing to call out without any time. The company didn't skimp on time either. It was really good. I get back. They tell me about this point system. And I ask why they don't just write people up. Turned out the new managers felt uncomfortable about having to do it, so instead everyone gets screwed. Stupidest thing ever. I can't figure out what the name of the company is and feel dumb. I have found that attendance policies are so murky that they don't know how it works. How has no one mentioned the 30 minutes nap yet? I refuse to work anywhere that uses those stupid point systems. Just give me normal sick and vacation time. We had a 15-minute buffer before being late, so I'd show up 14 minutes late almost every day. Isn't it illegal to penalize employees for using sick vacation time? In the USA, this is definitely illegal. At least. I worked for a company years ago that used a step program. If you missed more days in a quarter than the average days missed company-wide in the previous quarter, you went up a step. If you missed less than the average, you went down a step. If you managed to hit step 6, you could lose your job. The average was usually 3 days per quarter or 1 day a month. So there was no difference between missing 4 days or 40 days in a quarter. You were going up 1 step. There were a few people that took advantage of this and would take entire weeks off at a time. Then miss no days the next quarter to basically make the time missed mean nothing. This was a unionized job, and in my 2 years with the company I never saw a single person lose their job, and missed time was never mentioned. That's the way to do it. I hate point systems.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.